Hi boys and girls, this is Mrs. Kumler and I'm back here again to talk to you about the takeaway method. I just want to start off with reviewing what we learned yesterday. So yesterday we learned how to subtract without having to write the problem up and down. And we learned this by doing the takeaway number line method. So if we have a problem like 18 minus 3, what we do is we write down the bigger number, which is 18, and then we take away or we jump back using the other number. So we're going to jump back or take away 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we write our numbers on the number line below, counting backwards. 17, 16, 15. And we were able then to get our answer. Our answer is our number right here that we ended with, which was 15. So I can write 15. It's just an easier way to do subtraction. Then we were thinking that if we had to do a bigger number and we had to do these jumps, that it might take a lot of time if we had to do lots of jumps. For instance, if the number was more like 18 minus 12. So then we talked about how we could make our jumps on the number line bigger. We talked about how we can make jumps of 10 instead of just jumps of 1. So we're still using the takeaway number line method. So we want to write down, when we have the problem 40 minus 30, we want to write down our biggest number, which is 40. Instead of jumping backwards by 1s, we're going to jump backwards by 10s, and we practiced this yesterday. So how many 10s here? Let me see. So I have 30, so I know that I have to jump back 10, 20, 30. That's 3 jumps. Okay, so here I go. 10, 20, 30. So I just jumped back 30 by doing jumps of 10. So then I write my numbers below on the number line, counting backwards by 10. 30, 10, oh, not 10, 20, then 10. So I jumped back 10 here, 10 here, and 10 here, for a total, if I add all those together, of 30. And we got our answer of 10. And you guys did a really nice job of this, of jumping back by 10s yesterday. But our numbers are not going to always be so perfect. Our takeaway number is not always going to end in a 0. That's just not a perfect world because not all numbers do end in 0. So what we need to talk about next is, what if our number doesn't end in 0? What if our takeaway number doesn't end in 0? Before we do that, I want to just talk about counting backwards by 10s. Okay, we can count backwards from any number by 10s. It doesn't have to end in 0. We know that to count back by a number that ends in 0, that we just take the number in the tens place and we decrease it by 1, such as if we were counting backwards by 50, then we say 40, 30, 20, 10, and then of course 0 if we wanted to put that there. So it's easy if the number ends in 0. But what if we didn't, instead of saying 50, we said 55? Whoa, oh no, our number doesn't end in 0. What are we going to do? Instead, our number in the ones place ends in 5. This is going to be simple. You're going to keep this number that's in the ones place the same. And then the number in the tens place, you're going to decrease by 1 just like you did up here. So we would say 55, 45, See, the number in the ones place stayed the same. 35, 25, 15. Yep, we can still subtract 10 more. And 5. Notice that when we are counting backwards by tens, that we can even do it if the number doesn't end in 0. We just have to remember the number in the ones place stays the same. The number in the tens place just decreases by 1 every time. All right, let's try another one together here. So just for the fun of it, let's try the number 39. Remember, the number in the ones place is going to stay the same. All right, do this with me. So we're going to go backwards. We know that 1 less than 3 is 2. So and the number in the ones place is going to stay the same. So we have 29. So 39, 29. We go back another 10. Remember, we're decreasing the tens place by 1. We are keeping the number in the ones place the same, so we have 19. Then we can actually jump back 10 more, or take away 10 more. We decrease the tens place by 1. That's going to make it 0, right? And then the ones place stays the same, and we have 9. So we can count backwards by tens from any number. We just keep the number in the ones place the same. So here we said 39, 29, 19, 9. Again, every number will end in 9. All right, so boys and girls, I want you to give this a try on your own, okay? You are going to still be using the takeaway number line method. You're still going to be using tens because you can notice the number we're taking away, they're even tens here. The only difference is our first number, our bigger number, isn't as easy. Not all of them end in 0, but we know how to count backwards now, even if the number is not 0 in the ones place. We know to count backwards by tens, we just keep the number in the ones place the same, and we decrease the number in the tens place by 1. So I want you to go ahead and do these problems on your own in your math notebook. So you're going to pause the video. You're going to go ahead and do these problems, and then we'll go over it. So when you're finished doing the problems, press play on the video again. All right, so let's see how you did. So 90 minus 30. This is just like the problems that we were doing yesterday. So no difference here because everything's easy. Everything ends in 0. So we're doing the takeaway method. We are on the number line using tens, and so we're going backwards. So 10, 20, 30. And I'm just going to write my 10 up here so I remember what I'm taking away in case I need to go back and check my work. Okay. Now I write my numbers on the number line. 80, 70, 60. So my answer to 90 minus 30 equals 60. I hope that's what you were able to get as well. All right, let's take a look at the next one. 65 minus 40. Not as pretty because this number does not end in 0, but yet we still can count backwards by tens, and we notice that this is a nice number that we can count by tens with. So I will write down my bigger number, which is 65, and I've got to take away 40. So 10, 20, 30, 40. All right. I'm going to write again my tens up here so I remember how much I took away each time, just in case I forget. I need to go back and check my work. So 65. The number in the ones place will stay the same. The number in the tens place will decrease by 1. So 65, 55, 45, 35, and 25. So I got my answer. 65 minus 40 is 25, and I hope that's what you were able to get as well. Sometimes it's just good practice to go home and count backwards by tens by these numbers, starting at any number that doesn't end in 0 and count backwards just like we did here. Just good practice to kind of get that in your mind. All right, looking at 83 minus 20, we write our bigger number, 83. We take away 20, 10, 20. Writing my tens up here so I don't forget. Counting backwards by tens, ones stay the same, tens place decreases by 1. So 73, 63. And I've got my answer. 83 minus 20 is 63. Boys and girls, you have done a great job with this today, learning how to count backwards by tens from any number, even if it doesn't end in 0. Tomorrow we are going to work on some more difficult numbers. So our takeaway number is no longer going to end in 0. It's going to end in any number. And so we will work tomorrow on how to do that. So until next time.